Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us to discuss the revised draft tariff language for the Variable Operations and Maintenance Cost Review Stakeholder Initiative. My name is Isabella Nicosia, representing ISO Stakeholder Affairs, and I'll be facilitating the web conference today. I'm also joined on the line by Sydney Mannheim, Assistant General Counsel, and Kevin Head from Market Analysis and Forecasting. The revised draft tariff language is available on the initiative webpage on the California ISO website, and comments on the language were due yesterday. Today's call is being recorded, and the video file will be available for a limited time on the ISO website. The recording is for informational and convenience purposes only, and any related transcriptions should not be reprinted without the ISO's permission. We will be taking questions throughout the call today, and you can enter the question queue at any time by pressing #2 on your telephone keypad. I'd just like to remind everyone to please start by introducing yourself before asking your question. So with that, I will hand it over to Sydney, and we'll get started.
Thanks, Isabella. And Kevin Head, the business unit lead for this project, is here too, and I will hand any substantive questions to him to answer. We actually did not receive any written comments, which is not too terribly surprising because the incremental revisions were really quite limited. They're highlighted in yellow, and other than some very limited corrections of typographical errors and some minimal clarifications, we made substantive edits to correctly capture the MSG configurations, the formula for MSG configurations in the proxy cost calculation for proxy minimum load cost. And that's, Isabella just scrolled to that. So that was a substantive change that we had overlooked in the initial drafting. And then in several instances, also highlighted in yellow, we made some additional changes from calendar day to business day to allow for additional sufficient business days for the CAISO to run the business process of negotiating and handling these applications for negotiating these bid adders. I think Isabella just stopped. That's a clarification change, and there's another business day change. So I think folks can see that these are really quite limited changes and actually pretty self-explanatory. So with that, I think I will pause and see if Kevin has anything to add, and then we'll turn to see if there's any more folks on the phone have any questions. Kevin, do you have anything to add?
Not at this time. Thanks, Sydney.
Are there any questions in the queue? Again, you can enter by pressing #2.
Okay. This is our second draft of the tariff language. We aren't planning on making any additional changes. We do reserve the right to continue to revise the draft as we get closer to filing. There may be some additional minor changes that we identify as we get closer to the filing. And we do intend to make this tariff amendment filing in mid-February, so within 2 weeks or so from now at the Federal Energy Commission.
Jayla, are there any questions in the queue?
We have no questions in the queue at this time. As a reminder, dialing #2 will place you in the queue.
Okay. Well, Sydney, did you have anything else to add? Otherwise, we can wrap up.
Oh, we do have a question.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Caller, your line is now unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Beverly Burton, Southern California Edison. I agree that you'll have to do some additional cleanup because as I read through the tariff language as presented, I'm still seeing a number of errors in terms of misspelled words within the tariff as presented.
Yeah, we as we get closer to filing, we do focus more on that kind of thing. So our tariff stakeholder calls, we do appreciate it when folks notice those and we fix those, but the primary purpose of these calls would be, the substance of the tariff language, and we continue to look for, additional cleanup as we get closer to filing and getting our tariff ready for filing at FERC. So, yeah, we acknowledge it's not in a ready to file state at this point.
Are there any other questions? Okay.
We have no other callers in the queue.
Okay, thanks, Shayla. Sydney, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up?
No, I think we've covered all the points I wanted to make and let everyone know about our filing plan. And so, Kevin, any final thoughts from you?
No. Thanks, Beverly, for pointing those out. And I just echo Sydney's comments that we probably will do one more just quick sweep of any misspellings or anything. So I did notice a couple after Bev really brought it up. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining. I think that concludes today's call, and have a great rest of your day.
That concludes our conference. Thank you for using Event Services. You may now disconnect.